So you take them on fair while you've got speed. Don't rush, Joe. Steady, come in. Hands in position, Joe. Ready to block. That's it. That's better. That's nice. Right.
Paul, here on Netflix. Thanks for having me. Well, you got to give credit to Jake and his team. They reached out to me, to be fair, and it was a great opportunity for me. So it's an opportunity for me to fight. I wanted to take 12 months out of the game, and I've done that. And then it was time to get back to work. So I was planning on fighting anyway. And actually, I would have been fighting this weekend.
You're one of the best heavyweights ever. But I believe that fighting a smaller man is oftentimes harder as a heavyweight because of the speed difference, because of the foot speed, because of the angles, because of the head being off of the center. And so all of that power is great, and he's knocked people out. I just have to avoid that one shot.
New footage has surfaced purportedly showing Anthony Joshua sparring with Jake Paul. Raw, sweaty, and exactly the kind of behind-the-scenes moment fight fans crave. Two big names, no PR polish, just pure physics as their bodies test each other in real time. The visuals immediately pull you in. AJ steps forward with that colossal presence he always carries. Tall, wide-shouldered, built like a tank, yet moving with the grace of a dancer. Jake enters lighter on his feet, springy and coiled, showing the rhythm of someone used to faster, smaller opponents. The contrast is cinematic. One man built like a fortress, the other like a wound-up spring. Their opening exchanges are polite but electric. A probing jab from Jake, a measured counter right from AJ that looks like it could fold a mailbox. You hear someone in the corner yell adjustments, revealing that the sparring is structured, not frantic. Thudding shots land, including a heavy AJ body shot that bends Jake forward before he rises with a smile. Jake later clips AJ with a sharp left hook, not a knockout shot, but enough to force a reset. Both show respect between rounds, tapping gloves like predators calculating distance. The broader shots reveal the unglamorous details, the gasps for breath after combinations, AJ's corner shouting corrections, Jake's trainers pushing pace. Coaches watching this footage seek gold. Every habit, every opening, every drop in guard becomes tactical homework. And as they say, size matters. Jake Paul is stepping into extremely dangerous territory with Anthony Joshua.
This unusual matchup became possible after Netflix scrapped the planned Paul vs. Gervonta Davis bout on November 14th. Concerns over the massive size gap between Paul and the 135-pound WBA champion Davis led the Georgia Athletic and Entertainment Commission to refuse sanctioning, forcing the event to relocate from Atlanta to Miami. With Davis gone, Jake suddenly faces a far bigger mountain in Joshua. Paul stands 6'1" and is naturally a cruiserweight, capped at 200 pounds, with recent weigh-ins confirming that range. Joshua, meanwhile, is a 6'6" heavyweight titan who has spent nearly a decade at the division's elite level, recently weighing 251 pounds against Otto Wallen and 252 pounds against both Francis Ngannou and Daniel Dubois, with an 82-inch reach. Even capped at a 245-pound limit, Joshua will tower over Paul. Jake addressed critics on his YouTube channel, saying people demanded he fight a real boxer, someone his size, even a world champion, and now he's fighting someone twice the size of Gervonta Davis. Paul openly admits he is scared. He acknowledges Joshua's resume: two-time heavyweight world champion, Olympic gold medalist, and one-punch knockout artist. While he was winning Olympic gold, I was filming vines in high school, Paul said. Yet he insists he is ready to shock the world. I, Jake Joseph Paul, will knock out, defeat, and embarrass Anthony Joshua on Friday, December 19th, live on Netflix. Oddsmakers disagree. FanDuel lists Joshua as a massive -1,200 favorite, giving him an implied 93% chance of victory. For the first time in his career, Jake Paul enters as a clear underdog. Joshua himself hasn't fought since his September 2024 loss to Daniel Dubois, though earlier that year he delivered a crushing second-round knockout of former UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou.
Stay there. Get used to that pressure, Joe. That's nice. Stay on back so don't go pushing on it. Okay, change over. You're on your back foot now, Joe. Let me go.
Daniel Cormier reacted with shock, praising Jake for accepting such a dangerous fight and pointing out that there are no special rules protecting him. Cormier warned fighters not to underestimate Jake's boxing ability, emphasizing that Paul has spent 5 years training seriously with high-level coaches. When reminded that Jake's opponent is Anthony Joshua, Cormier admitted it's a terrible matchup, but argued that Ngannou's boxing inexperience made his loss different from what Jake might face. Cormier noted that if Paul gets hurt, he at least knows how to clinch correctly, something many MMA fighters never master. He concluded that if Jake entered...
Daniel Cormier reacted with shock, praising Jake for accepting such a dangerous fight and pointing out that there are no special rules protecting him. Cormier warned fighters not to underestimate Jake's boxing ability, emphasizing that Paul has spent 5 years training seriously with high-level coaches. When reminded that Jake's opponent is Anthony Joshua, Cormier admitted it's a terrible matchup, but argued that Ngannou's boxing inexperience made his loss different from what Jake might face. Cormier noted that if Paul gets hurt, he at least knows how to clinch correctly, something many MMA fighters never master. He concluded that if Jake enters this fight without special parameters, he deserves enormous respect, even though Joshua still has the tools to hurt him. Meanwhile, heavyweight Jermaine Franklin, who went the distance with Joshua in 2023, blasted the fight as a mockery of boxing. He said Jake brings money but lacks authenticity as a fighter, accusing him of making the sport look ridiculous. He argued that a 245-pound catch weight for Joshua is meaningless and could damage AJ's reputation. Franklin dismissed Jake as not being a real fighter, despite acknowledging his success with Amanda Serrano. Former UFC champion Tyron Woodley offered a different angle, claiming Jake's motivation comes from little brother syndrome, always trying to outshine Logan Paul. Woodley believes Jake's brand is built on going big and taking risks, calling the fight insane but admirable, especially on 2 weeks' notice. He warned that Joshua's overconfidence and history of vulnerability could open the door for an upset.